Welcome to Middle East Info, and today we're diving into the intricacies of the Arab Spring Revolution in Egypt, and examining why this historic movement didn't succeed in the long term. The revolution in Egypt was a momentous time, beginning in January 2011. Inspired by the Tunisian Revolution, Egyptians took to the streets, demanding an end to the 30-year rule of President Hosni Mubarak, who they saw as authoritarian and corrupt. After 18 days of protests, the demand was met as Mubarak resigned. Initially, the revolution seemed like a victory for democracy. Yet, a decade later, many observers agree that the Egyptian revolution didn't fulfill its promise. The country now finds itself under the rule of Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, whose regime has been criticized for its autocratic style and human rights violations. So, what went wrong? Several factors contribute to the unsuccessful transition to democracy in Egypt. The first is the lack of a unified vision and leadership among the revolutionary forces. The movement was comprised of various groups, each with different ideologies and goals, making it difficult to form a cohesive plan for the country's future. Furthermore, Egypt's powerful military played a significant role in the revolution's outcome. After Mubarak's departure, the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces, SCAF, took control. While they promised to steer the country towards democracy, many argue that the military leadership was more focused on maintaining its power and privileges. The transition to democratic rule was further complicated by the hasty elections held in 2012. The Muslim Brotherhood, a well-organized political group, won the majority of seats in the parliament, and later, their candidate, Mohamed Morsi, won the presidency. However, Morsi's tenure was marred by accusations of power consolidation, mismanagement, and failing to deliver on his promises, leading to widespread public dissatisfaction. In 2013, following mass protests against Morsi's rule, the military led by then-General Sisi intervened and ousted Morsi. This move was initially met with public approval, as many Egyptians were disillusioned by Morsi's rule. However, it was a significant setback for the democratic transition. In the aftermath of the 2013 coup, Sisi assumed power and began a severe crackdown on dissent, targeting not only the Muslim Brotherhood but also liberal and secular activists. These measures effectively ended the hopes for a democratic Egypt that had been ignited by the Arab Spring. Moreover, Egypt's struggling economy contributed to the revolution's failure. The initial promise of the Arab Spring was not only for political freedom but also for economic opportunity. However, both the transitional and successive governments have struggled to improve economic conditions, leading to widespread disillusionment. The role of international actors also cannot be overlooked. Despite rhetoric supporting democracy, many global powers, particularly the United States and European countries, have continued to support the Egyptian government due to strategic interests. This support has, in part, enabled the persistence of autocratic rule in Egypt. While the revolution didn't result in a democratic Egypt, it's important to remember that revolutions are complex, long-term processes. The demands for justice, freedom, and dignity that fueled the Arab Spring remain deeply rooted in the Egyptian society. Also worth noting is the impact of the revolution on the consciousness of the Egyptian people. It showed Egyptians, particularly the youth, that they have the power to challenge authority and demand change. This realization, once made, cannot be easily forgotten. In conclusion, while Egypt's revolution did not achieve its ultimate goal of establishing a democratic and inclusive political system, its legacy is complex and multifaceted. The failure can be attributed to a combination of domestic and international factors, including the lack of a unified opposition, the power of the military, economic struggles, and international politics. Thank you for watching Middle East Info. We hope this exploration into Egypt's Arab Spring Revolution has given you a better understanding of its complexities. If you found this insightful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses on the dynamics of the Middle East.